It's a Big Drive Energy Live Sunday edition, the BMW Championship at Bellerive in St. Louis. We're going to follow the last three holes and potential playoff holes with you down the stretch. Rory McIlroy, Wyndham Clark tied at 14 under on the 16th hole. Colin Morikawa just made eagle on the 17th hole to get to 13 under and one back with one hole left. We'll talk about all of this coming up here, plus the final 30 to get into the playoffs of the PGA Tour, get into the PGA Tour Championship next week in Atlanta. All of that coming up next. All right, let's tee it up. Big Drive Energy Live on a Sunday. Thanks for tuning in with us, watching the the road to the Tour Championship, the PGA Tour playoffs here, the BMW Championship, and as they're showing us the final leaderboard or the top 30, Patrick Cantlay sitting right there at 30th to get to the Tour Championship. I know you'd be crushed for a Tour Championship without Patrick Cantlay, just absolutely crushed about it, but we've also got a very interesting dynamic going here that I'm just going to get out in the open right off the hop. So, as we know, if you watch the show on a Wednesday, we give out our golf picks. Mitchell has, as I quote him, has been seeing the board well recently. Exact quote from a text I got from him. He is on Wyndham Clark plus 3,000, which means we are both on it. But Mitchell here, our friend here, my brother, has cashed out his Wyndham Clark bet. And he did this yesterday. This was before the 6-shot lead, which now looks smart, looked dumb, looked smart. You know, has looked a bunch of different ways. But I am riding the Wyndham Clark bet. So I am sitting here with the Wyndham Clark bet still in the holster at 30-1 odds. I wanted to hit for Bury the Bananas units because that's a big one. And literally, I was thinking about this the other day. You have made a year of golf betting off picking Wyndham Clark
twice. Yeah. No, I thought about that as well. And he did win the other smaller event in Texas a few weeks before the US Open. But if I pick Wyndham correctly for 2 weeks, and I was thinking about that, it started to, I got ahead of myself a little. I'm like, what if I start putting more money on this shit? And I'm like, I probably don't need to do that. But if I was betting, $100 per unit, I could possibly be up some money this year. So I'm watching Wyndham hit right now. The putt's rolling to the hole. Little bit of emotion out of Wyndham there. He just knocked it in for birdie on 16. Are you behind me?
Oh, I'm so far behind you. I am seeing it go in for the first time right now.
For the
first birdie of the day for Wyndham Clark on the 16th hole. And dude, let's get this out there too, because this happens every week. This is every single time we do a Sunday show or we watch golf, we make our picks every Sunday. What happens? I'm going to give you a fill in the blank. What happens every time we go into a Sunday with a tight leaderboard?
Somebody runs away with it.
And what happens every time we go into Sunday with a guy having a 5-shot lead or 4-shot lead?
It gets tighter than a mouse's ear.
Turns into a dogfight, and it is a perfect playbook for the PGA Tour this season. And I barely could get the fucking TV on today, and I see that Wyndham and Rory are one shot there. Rory was 1 under through 1, Wyndham was 1 over through 1, and that whole entire his lead just disappeared. Does Rory have? Is this for birdie? Okay.
Yeah, let's see what kind of stones Rory's got. I mean, it's left to right for Rory, so it's obviously harder. Oh, hit it high. Suck it, Rory.
After this hole's over, you're pausing it, and we're gonna play when they hit their tee shot on 17 together.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna run grab the remote.
So right now, as we mentioned, BMW Championship, both Rory McIlroy and Wyndham Clark just finished the 16th hole. Rory is now 1 shot behind. Colin Morikawa 2 shots behind Wyndham Clark, heading into 17, which is the 607-yard par 5. So I will say, and I've said this on the podcast a million times, for those of you just tuning in to Big Drive Energy, welcome. We're live Mondays and Wednesdays every single week. Big events will be live on a Sunday afternoon. Got her up, just hit it in the shit. But
laid it up in the shit. Is there anything worse than that?
A layup in the shit. I've said this on the podcast a million times. Every golf course should end on a par 5. Having it one as 17 is a close second, though. It's palatable at that point.
17 is weird. Like I and this is kind of an odd like golf topic, but I feel like the 17th hole is least likely to be a par 5.
Yes.
It feels like very much a par 3.
17 is a par 3. It just feels that way.
It always feels like 16 should be a 5, 17 should be a 3. In my opinion, 18 should be a 5. I love finishing 5, 3, 5.
Yeah, that was our hometown course that we used to play as kids, grew up on, worked on, played probably 1,000 rounds on, finished 5, 3, 5. And so you could theoretically go eagle, par, eagle, and you could make up 3 or 4 shots if you're golfing that day on the last 3 holes.
100%. So actually, right now, I just watched Rory walk up to the tee box. Now I'm watching Goddard hit his shot.
Pause your shot. Pause your shit.
Tell me when Goddard's about to swing.
Goddard is making. Oh, he just backed off of it.
Oh, so now you're going to be a little ahead of me, you fucker.
Okay, where are you at now?
We're fine. Goddard is looking at the shaft of his club, whatever. So I know Gary Woodland's not going to win this week, but obviously it helps. I have him on my gambling board as a top 10 pick. I bet that I wouldn't say heavily, but relatively speaking in golf terms, I threw a few beans down. So I feel pretty good about this hit, barring an explosion on the 18th hole. But I think I've just come to realize that Gary Woodland's like probably one of my favorite players on the PGA Tour. I think he's just so much fun to watch. He's like a true, I know it sounds corny, but he's like a true American. Like he's just a middle America, Kansas boy. He's always wearing red, white, and blue. All the stuff he went through with his brain injury. Oh, God, Wyndham. Oh, for some reason, I thought that was going way more left than it was. Oh, Wyndham's going to be laying up. He hit it in the bunker left. Oh, God, not good.
Which, honestly, with a lead, may be a little bit of a saving grace when you have no choice but to lay up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so because that it's a little bit of a dogleg right up by the hole, and Wyndham is just tailor-made to hit a 60-yard fade with a 3-wood or a 5-wood from, 270, 280. So Rory could absolutely have the upper hand if he's in the fairway here. But this hole, I guarantee you, does not suit Rory's eye. He is a natural drawer of the ball. This hole works left to right pretty much the whole way. So I could see Rory hitting this slightly left.
Oh, yeah, he's in the left rough.
Okay, I thought it was peeling a little harder. But he just distance mogged Wyndham. He's like, see that bunker you're in? I just flew it right over it. But I think both of them will probably be laying up, I would assume. But back to Gary Woodland. He is just one of the most electric players, in my opinion, to watch on the PGA Tour. His speed, and, for a guy that's kind of old school and doesn't love all the speed, Gary Woodland have you seen the stats? He's the fastest swinger of the club on the PGA Tour this season at like 43, 44 years old.
It's insane. Guys like him, Adam Scott out there swinging it, 125, getting 180 ball speed. It's like these guys have, and they actually did a lengthy, it was Brandley Chambliss. So not a lot of people really take into account what he's saying all the time, but they were doing kind of an extensive talk about Adam Scott and how good he swings the club. I think this was after the round on Friday night on golf post game or whatever they call it. But they were talking about the fact that Adam Scott still swings it so hard and how impressive it is at his age to be able to do that. And kind of Brandel was kind of just saying, like that's a product of a good golf swing and with good mechanics allows you to create the same movement over and over. It doesn't put a lot of strain on you. And they mentioned, unfortunately, Will Zalatoris, who seems like he's never going to outrun these back problems that he's had the last couple of years. But when you have a golf swing that's just smooth and repeatable and everything works kind of together, doesn't look like you're fighting anything, you're able to still continue to make the same, get the same ball speed in your mid 40s that you were in your 20s. And obviously technology and clubs are only getting better and better, but the golf swing, as Purple Kool-Aid, shout out Scott. What's up, dude? He says Gary Woodland's whip generates so much speed. Watching him swing it kind of it gives me a little bit of whiplash. I'm like, Jesus, dude, let's calm it down.
Well, but what I noticed with Gary that I actually have thought about in my own game and I've been working on it these last couple of weeks is it looks like his grip pressure is so light. Like the club has so much play in his hands that he creates all this speed by not yanking down on the club. It just feels like there's all of this wrist action along with body speed, obviously, but it just looks like he's holding the club so gently and it allows for more speed. And I've been dealing with you witnessed it firsthand at your member guess. I've been having these little wedges and I've been pulling them 5 to 10 yards from 70, 80, 90 yards. And I think it's because my grip pressure is so strong. I am literally strangling the shit out of it and trying to steer it in a certain direction. So these last few weeks, I've been focusing on grip pressure and not getting way too tight on the club to try to maybe work that ball a little more left to right on these short ones. But I know that was just a tidbit about my own game that nobody gives a shit about. Morikawa had to lay up on 18. So, Morikawa's realistically 13's not getting it done.
Cantlay now has birdied the 17th hole and got to 13. He has had, look at his round, so many birdies, so many bogeys. Started at 26th on the FedEx Cup list, now is at 30, but was going between, has not crossed the 30 threshold, but got down to 19 at one point, up to 26. And who's at 31 right now? Is it Ryan Fox? Is Ryan Fox the first guy out as of right now?
Let me look. I was looking at Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland's averaging 345 off the tee this week. And somehow that's sixth in the field, but I don't know if we can see the live FedEx Cup odds, can we?
We'll just have to wait and see.
These are projected. Okay, these are projected odds. So as of right now, they're projected first man out is Kurt Kitayama.
Oh, okay. Your boy from last week that absolutely his Sunday deucing on himself didn't help your units and didn't help his FedEx Cup standings, apparently.
Yeah, he could have helped both of us and he didn't either. So fuck him. Nah, I still like Kitayama. Ryan Fox is 29 as of right now.
Okay.
And do you know what's pretty crazy? And Missy actually pointed this out to me when we were watching earlier. Aaron Rye is not going to make the Tour Championship.
He wins a major, and he's just that's it for him for the year.
Guess how many top 10s he's had besides his major?
I think we talked about this on the podcast. One.
I think we
outside of his major.
Yeah, I think we already talked about this. I just still how do you win a major and you miss the FedEx Cup Championship? That feels like the points should be a little heavier.
Well, Fox is borderline there, and he's Rory.
Tell me it's
layup into a bunker.
Wow, that thing just kept rolling out on him. You hate to see it.
What have you thought of how Bellariva's played this week?
I think it's been awesome, dude. I think it's been a great host. I think it's played long. Look at the guys at the top of the leaderboard. Not all of them are long, but the rough is super penal. The par threes are really tough. The par threes are a great challenge. It feels like it's been relatively easy on the greens. The greens aren't crazy hard, but I feel like tee to green, it's everything these guys want and more. So It's similar to Shinnecock, where you're like, how did Wyndham Clark get it to 7 or 8 under or 9 under at one point? But then on Sunday, it kind of really shows its teeth, and they've let it dry out quite a bit. So I think it's been a great venue, dude. What have you thought of it?
I love the golf course. I just love the way these are my kind of
The aesthetics.
this is my
Yes,
kind of golf.
aesthetically,
Like
it's a great,
like Midwest kind of big trees, old school looking golf course. Like that's old school country club feel. That's my favorite kind of golf.
I agree. I would tend to agree with you.
Well, and also I'm trying to fact check myself here. I forget where I saw this on the interweb, so it's not entirely wrong. But yesterday at Bella Reeve was the highest attended round, I believe, for a BMW championship ever at over 27,000 people.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it just goes to show you, we've talked about it on the show and where they host these events, and the fact that this is traveling and gets to go to a city that doesn't have a consistent PGA Tour event. Those people show up, and you know you're going to get people there at places like that every single time.
For sure. And that's what I think makes the BMW so great. And that's probably why Brian Rollap is like, let's do this more often. Let's move it around, get people excited. And I actually looked next year, the BMW is at Liberty National out here in New Jersey. So I will definitely be attending that at least one day.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wyndham with I wouldn't say a dart. I wouldn't say a complete dart on 17.
Pretty damn good.
He's going to have 12 to 15 feet for birdie. And you kind of feel like at this point, if Rory doesn't put it inside of him, he's got a chance to end this thing once and for all on 17.
And I think Wyndham just needed to see one putt go in, and it did on the last. So now I feel like he's going to knock this one in as well. Like when he sees it go in, because after his round on Friday, did you hear what he said? Even though he was boat racing everyone, he goes, I feel like my putter isn't even heated up. Like I don't feel like I've putted it well. And then he putted really well yesterday, and he's looked like a blind man on the greens today. So
isn't that hilarious? Oh my God, Rory's just completely imploding, bunker to bunker. We call that the Osama.
In a horrible lie on the downslope, short-sighted.
Yeah, that's just golf for you, though. Is Wyndham Clark he's kind of a do you relate him to like a Jordan Spieth in his prime? I don't know if that's a good relation. It's so long ago now that it seems like. But Wyndham Clark is the guy that can make a tournament just run away with a tournament, because he'll have days where he makes so many 20 to 30 footers or longer. And as you said, he did that. He didn't do it all week. He was kind of there Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday he comes out, and I think he made 6 or 7 putts, 6, 7 over 20 feet. And when he gets it rolling like that, like, he's not the greatest ball striker. He's not the greatest driver of the ball. He's not the greatest wedge player. Like, he doesn't have that thing that he goes back to on tour, like Sam Burns as a putter or Rory McIlroy is the driver of the golf ball, right? He doesn't have any of those stats that jump off the map at you over the course of an entire year. But his hot on the greens is maybe as good as anybody's as far as making putts.
Well, yeah, and that's the ironic thing truly is when Wyndham turned pro, and I remember he got a sponsor's invite into the Travelers Championship, was his first PGA Tour event probably 7-8 years ago. I don't know. But he was the longest player in the field at the Travelers in his first professional event. Like, that is how long he was. But us having played high school golf with the guy, he was never long in high school. He was known as the best putter. I still think to this day he's the best putter I've ever literally laid eyes on, like with my own 2 eyes. He was unbelievable at putting. And so now his career arc has totally come back to the point where it's like he is one of the best putters in the world. And when he's on, it like you said, it's not necessarily his ball striking. He is like the quintessential bomb and gouge. He hits it long. He doesn't hit it that straight. And he just gives himself a bunch of opportunities. And when he makes putts, he's fucking hard to beat. Like, he is truly, I'd say, a top 5 player in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a legitimate chance that he'd have to go on to Gary Woodland to finish with a par. Nails it. Top 5 for Gary Woodland. Show his scorecard. Oh, they're not showing where he'll end up in the FedEx Cup. He should be firmly into the Tour Championship next week. Good old G-Dub, Mr. Puma. That's my guy, Cobra Puma.
9 pars on the back 9 today.
Just a 9. I love those. I love those kind of 9s. Nice and easy. No work to be had, just 9 pars. Wyndham Clark has a legitimate shot at winning PGA Tour Player of the Year if he wins the Tour Championship.
I think even if he wins this week, I think he could. He's got 3 wins,
in a major.
2 wins, 2 PGA Tour wins in a major. Like, that's honestly a better year than Scotty's had. And the crazy
I mean, it just depends upon how much you value wins. Like Scotty's had a ridiculous year. That's why he could have showed up and had let his son play this week for him and still been solidly in the top points race for the Tour Championship next week. Rory's got to make this. He's got like a 22, 23 footer for par to even have a shot. If he makes this, though, I think he could have a little confidence going into 18. And he doesn't. It's over. Wyndham Clark has a birdie chance to go to 16 under. Rory will drop back to 13 under. Bogey on the par 5 17th is seeing a 6 on your scorecard this late in a tournament's never a good sign.
Yeah. It is pretty funny, like the parallels of this week to when Wyndham won the US Open. It looked like he was running away with it. He's got this massive lead. And then Sunday, you look up in the middle of the front 9 and you're like, the lead is completely gone. And then Wyndham somehow steadies the ship in the middle of the back 9. And you can't tell me that, like, he's been working with that mental coach for shit like this.
Oh, my God. What a golf shot by Patrick Cantlay. Thank God we didn't have to watch him milk the club over that for 5 minutes. We just got the quick cut shot ending.
Yeah, I mean, Rory and Wyndham probably started putting and finished putting before Cantlay even fucking pulled the trigger on that. But I mean, Cantlay now might put even more pressure on Wyndham than Rory.
Nope, not with that 3-shot lead. It's in the bag.
What did I say? I said he was going to make that putt.
30-1 odds plus. Oh, let's see if I still have. Do we have it up here? Oh yeah, we've got the really bad
graphic that blacks one side out.
Yep.
Let's go.
So, Migsy plus 375 plus 3,000. Oh man, what a week for the boy again,
dude. I said I'm seeing the board, man. And do you know what's unfortunate? Well, not unfortunate because he's going to finish second or maybe third, but I left Rory, if you listen to Wednesday's pod, I left Rory on the bench in my one and done. I didn't use him once this year. And he obviously then had a great week this week. Victor Hovland looked like he was going to have a good week until Saturday. Went in completely the opposite direction. But this is a course that's just built for a guy like Rory and Wyndham that's just long. And actually, crazy enough, Wyndham, I was looking at his stats this week. Strokes gained approach, he is like top 5 this week. So he's been striking it really well. And he's been top 10 in driving accuracy this week as well. So he's having a great week, tee to green. I would say, crazy enough, his putter has kind of let him down more than anything, which is like how you're going to win a tournament and you're not going to putt well. Like, that's pretty crazy. So,
well, I think, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can find where he lies. Let's see if I can. I don't know if Data Golf will have all the information on this specific tournament yet or out, but when you don't putt well all week, but you have one day of making 20 footers all day long, that can win you a golf tournament. And really, this golf tournament was won for him yesterday, right? Like, even though it got close, today he hasn't done anything impressive. He's let guys back into it. Other guys have played much better than he has today. Took him till 16 to make a birdie, and now he's made back-to-back birdies. This sounds like a round that I'd have where it takes me till 16 to make a birdie, and then I finish, birdie, 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 and shoot 78. But Wyndham Clark, just yesterday, you can win the tournament in one day. And it's never on a Thursday, right? That's always what they say. You can't win a tournament on a Thursday. You can definitely lose one. But you can win a tournament on Saturday for sure if you just go out and putt like he did yesterday and just never miss anything.
Dude, so I just saw breaking news. Well, not breaking news, but Jesus, I was just reading that comment and I just spaced out. It's been a long weekend. There's been a lot of vodka consumed. Scotty had hand, foot, and mouth this week.
That is no joke. I've had that shit.
Dude, he said it was painful to grip the club.
Well, so I got more of the mouth scenario. I didn't get much of the hand and the foot, but I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat food. I couldn't talk. It was getting hand, foot, and mouth as an adult. That's why, dude, Scotty's got to wise up around playoff time and keep the family away. I know he's a family man, but
he's got to incubate himself.
Yeah, you can't have two little kids fucking ruining your chances at a tour championship.
Well,
because I will say,
makes me feel good about his chances next week once he gets healthy.
Well, that shit doesn't just go away in a couple days. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's dealing with it still Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday. Obviously, the tournament doesn't start till Thursday, but that shit just doesn't disappear, man. Kids get you sick, and you're fucked for a while. Now, let's talk about this real quick as we're getting to Wyndham and Rory walking up to their shots. They're talking to Gary Woodland right now. He's all smiles, just a great comeback story. If Scotty doesn't win the Tour Championship, now he's already had in quotations, less than Scotty stellar year, right? Hasn't won a ton. Obviously dominated last week at the St. Jude. Everybody said he's back, and comes out here this week is just kind of middle of the pack. But winning, honestly, let's be real here. The hand, foot, and mouth part is crazy. But if you can't win 3 playoff events in a row, I don't care if you're Scotty Scheffler or not. Like I'm not saying he laid down here to not win this tournament, but at the same time, like even in his mind, he's got to be like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure everything's tuned. I'm gonna go to St. Louis. I'm gonna play, but I'm gonna try to win the Tour Championship. If Scotty doesn't win the Tour Championship this year, how much does the Tour Championship matter in your eyes? Because it would be kind of insane to go on a 4-year run that he's been on and be the best player in the world by a mile and be able to lap the field. And yet every time it comes down to the playoffs and the Tour Championship, he's won it one time, correct?
Yeah. Well, he hasn't won it in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Like just the idea of that is a little bit insane to me, to think that, oh yeah, Patrick Cantlay jumping from 30th to 19th with that birdie on 18. So firmly in.
Shit.
I know Mark Mosier loves him some Patrick Cantlay. We'll get another full 4 rounds of Elmer's Glue, Mr. D-Walt, for the Tour Championship next week. But where does the Tour Championship lie in your mind? Is that a differentiator? Do people even talk about it? Because I feel like when you look at guys' wins and their career as a whole, it's how many PGA Tour events did you win and how many majors did you win? I don't feel like Tour Championships are talked about, but on the other side of the coin, I think it would be insane to be as good as Scotty's been for 5 years and win 1 Tour Championship if he doesn't win it this year.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But at the end of the day, the Tour Championship is the closest thing to live that the PGA Tour has. Like, it really means nothing. It's a tiny field, and it's just basically a money grab for these guys. Like, nobody, like you said, nobody really remembers who's won Tour Championships because he's won the season-long race already. That's kind of, done and gone. So at the end of the day, the Tour Championship's like, oh, here's $40 more million for you guys to play for. So no, I don't think it really necessarily matters. Having said that, though, in a field of 30, it feels like Scotty should have won more than one, 1 of 4, 1 of 5, whatever. But okay, so Wyndham, I don't know if he's laying this up. No, He's got 161.
Well, he's got to know that. I mean, granted, bogey here still wins it, but
yeah, I think he's probably going to play
made
for
birdie.
bogey. I think either way, he's trying to just make par or bogey at worst, you know?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he shouldn't have the comfortability knowing that Rory made bogey and he's 3 shots ahead of Rory, not realizing that Patrick Cantlay is only 2 shots back now.
Yes, for sure. No, it definitely makes a difference. But, I mean, this 18th is a little underwhelming. It's not very hard. Not a whole lot of like big numbers.
That's going to chase right back there. Well, it's over. Wyndham Clark, 30-1. What did you hit him on? Oh, did you hear his comment? Showing his girlfriend right now. Did you hear his comment about his girlfriend?
No.
They were like, what do you do for golf tournaments when you're like sitting on a lead or something like that and you're not at the golf course? And he's like, well, luckily I've got a pretty good looking girlfriend I don't know if he said good looking, but basically implying like she keeps me pretty distracted when I'm not at the golf course. It's like, oh, fuck you, dude. Whatever.
Well, I will say, dude, I've heard a lot of positive vibes from the crowd for Wyndham. And maybe it was yes, Purple Kool-Aid, correct. He won because he started with like that 10 stroke or 10 under lead, basically. That was when he won it last. I honestly kind of forgot what the format was of the Tour Championship this year.
It's just straight golf. Like
Patrick, I know, but I'm talking about like the season-long race versus, because it used to be if you win the FedEx Cup Championship, you win the entire FedEx Cup. Where now
it's still that way.
No, it's not.
If you win the Tour Championship, you win the whole thing.
But Spence, they've already paid Scotty $24 million for winning the FedEx Cup.
Well, yeah, but if you win the Tour Champion, like I don't think
he's winning the season-long race either way. And did you hear Matt Fitzpatrick's comments on this?
Yes.
And it is kind of an American thing versus a European thing where he's like, I don't understand why the player that's been the best all year isn't rewarded more, because that's like Premier League football, fucking football. I'm never calling it that. Premier League soccer. You win like a regular season championship. There's no playoffs. But now Matt Fitzpatrick's like, because and to be fair, Fitzpatrick's been a top 3 player all year. And I think he's just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't play well for a couple of weeks and all of a sudden he's still going to have a high finish. But I think there needs to be more weight on the entire regular season, because then it kind of makes every week matter. You know, it's not like, oh, let's get to the playoffs. And if I'm being honest, I kind of wish our sports were more like that. Like the Nuggets, the Avs, the Broncos, because it's all depends on the playoffs. And like, it kind of makes the whole regular season not useless. Obviously, we love watching all of our sports, but don't get me wrong. There's been years where I'm like, I just want to get to the playoffs. And it's like, why can't we just enjoy the regular season more?
Yeah, I think the only part that makes it tough in the golf world to put that kind of a weight on the regular season is, now granted, it could work in the PGA Tour's favor and they get more guys at more events, but a lot of these players are like, dude, I've kind of made my hay out here. I'm going to go, I'd rather play in 10 events that I feel like I have a chance to win in than play in 20 events and overexert myself all year just to play in them, you know? So and it also depends upon the lens that you're looking through at if you think the regular season matters or not more, because the players that are all sitting there in the 100 to 150 range, they're like, great, let's not have Rory play in all these events. Let's not have Scotty play in all these events. Gives me a shot, an outside shot to win more often than it doesn't. And it allows more of those players in the events when you have, you know, a PGA Tour midseason event like the Valero Texas Open or something where a bunch of the top guys aren't showing up to it, you know? So it definitely is with an individualized sport like this, and so many, you know, there's not like in the NFL, there's 32 teams, and in the NBA, there's 30 teams, whatever. It's pretty cut and dry what's going to happen. in divisions, and then the regular season you get to the playoffs and you get seeding, but it's still matchup based. And in golf, it's like guy could get hot for 3 weeks at the end and win a tournament and end up winning the Tour Championship and has kind of been a nobody all year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you do have to play well enough to be inside the top 30, but like you said, then I just personally, and that's why I like Ricky Fowler, but I was like, he doesn't belong in the Tour Championship. Jordan Spieth doesn't belong in the Tour Championship. Like, it just, when's the last time you heard Ricky Fowler near the top of a leaderboard on a weekend? It's felt like a fucking while. And I like Ricky as much as the next guy, but it's like, you got to have a better season than that, even with all these sponsors exemptions you've gotten.
Just got the update. Wyndham Clark, the winner. My massive dollar pays out 31 beans. Let's go, Migsy.
And he just made birdie, so he ended up with a 3-stroke win. God, dude, I am fucking hot right now. 34 unit week. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's big time.
Oh, I can't believe I cashed that out. What a fucking.
I put my last beans. My last beans were down this week. I had like $3 in my betting account, and I worked it all the way up, and now we're cooking. Now we're absolutely cooking. Finishes birdie, by the way.
I was just going to say, he sees one go in on 16, and he's like, fuck it, I'll just birdie the last 3. Like,
yeah,
that is the kind of hot that this guy gets. And I will say, he's done a lot of PR shit. He's become a lot more likable. Like, did you see the video of him, the undercover driving range pro type thing?
No.
He just did one of those I think somewhere in Colorado. It just got put out this last week.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. Should we mention the good video scenario on this pod, or should we talk about that Wednesday?
We can talk about it a little bit. I mean,
Okay, here we go. So Ryan Fox sneaks in at 30. Tom Kim, Adam Scott, Justin Rose, and Victor Hovland are the last. Alex Fitzpatrick, guy didn't even have a tour card, wins with his brother in New Orleans, and now is going to the Tour Championship. That's pretty cool. I don't want to preview we won't preview the top 30 too much because that's for Wednesday. We got to save that for Wednesday's show.
Somehow Ryan Gerard is 17th. Like,
oh, dude, there'll be a few guys that if they win the Tour Championship, you'll be like, how in the fuck?
How are they?
Who is this guy?
How are they here right now?
Yeah, how are they even in this?
Well, so the good thing, you kind of explain it, and we'll talk about it. But was it a shot at women being bad drivers? Is that what it was? Like, the video was just so dumb. And then the internet reaction was like equally dumb. Like, everyone just butthurt about everything, but the video is so stupid to begin with. It's like, if something's funny, but it's offensive, like, I say offensive, funny shit all the time, but it was just so dumb. It's like, who thought that was a good idea? It's mind-boggling. Some of the marketing people that are like, yeah, you should do this. Like, was this Garrett Clark's fucking massive brain idea? I don't know.
Yeah, well, like you said, I think the most insane part about it is, first of all, a bunch of people had to approve that. Somebody had to come up with the idea for that video. Number 2, they had to approve it. Number 3, they recorded it. They watched it back and edited it and still decided it was good to post. It wasn't even that funny. That's where I draw the line. Like, there's a lot of people in this world that are too offended by things that they shouldn't be offended by, or should just move on. And anybody's entitled to how they feel about this video. I think Claire Rogers, who's a lady, covers the PGA Tour and stuff, she was like, she kind of was one of the first tweets that was like calling it out in a bigger forum, like to more people that could see how she felt about it. And granted, it was terrible, just all in all. But people get too offended. But when it's that, just watching that, I was like, this isn't even good content. Like, if something's really good content and then certain people are going to get offended by it, that's just kind of how it goes, right? Sometimes not everybody's going to love what you do. Not everybody's going to love what everybody does. But the people that defend good to the death, whether it's guys on their burners, the guys that are part of it on their burners, or just fans, you can't even defend that because of how bad the actual content was.
Exactly. Like, like a comedian, for example, if they're telling an offensive joke, it's got to be funny.
Right.
You can't make
miss.
something that's dog shit and offend people like that. That is just that's like double hitting a chip. Like that is just double fucked. You at least got to make it funny. So, oh look, Rory decided to stick around for this. He's not screeching off in his fucking BMW courtesy car this week. That's nice. But now so going back to this hand, foot, and mouth thing, I'm concerned about taking Scotty at the Tour Championship. But how fucking dumb would I look if I don't use Scotty Scheffler in the whole one and done? Like I already feel dumb enough not using fucking Rory, even though he shit down his leg last week. He finished fucking 68th of 70 guys.
Yeah, Maverick McNeely finished top 5 and is still going to miss the playoffs. Michael Brennan is going to miss the playoffs, finishing top 10. Robert McIntyre, Gary Woodland played their way into it. Same with Patrick Cantlay. He was on the outside looking in and played his way into the Tour Championship. Jacob Bridgman firmly in there. Sanjay M doesn't look like he's going to make it.
Well, dude, Robert McIntyre's been on property since fucking last Friday.
Yeah, Justin Thomas not going to make the Tour Championship. Wow. Christopher Wrighton, awesome for him. He'll be at the Tour Championship. Patrick Cantlay played his way in. Like, so a few guys played their way in this week. But yeah, like Matt Fitzpatrick coming out and saying he basically doesn't give a fuck about the playoffs. Pretty hilarious. PGA Tour is like, yeah, that's not what we wanted.
Yeah, that's not the optics that we're looking for.
Happy Sunday,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Yes, sir. Just another winner on the betting card.
This is the next Sunday's the last Sunday without NFL football for a long time. Oh, is it? We got 2 Sundays left.
Unfortunately we have 2, but I think we have college football next Saturday.
College football does start next week, so we're back.
We're kind of back.
This past Saturday was the last Saturday without college football until January 9th.
I'm honestly just like bummed that the PGA Tour season's over. Like I genuinely enjoy watching the shit. Do you know who I know is not bummed is my girlfriend that has to watch 16 hours of commercial-filled golf coverage every weekend.
Every single week.
It is not commercial-free football. It is fucking commercial-filled golf. But let's go, dude. Wyndham with another victory, sixth career win. And it just sometimes blows my mind that we watch this kid in high school and we're like, how good is he? And I knew he was like elite in high school, but there's plenty of kids like that were
millions
world beaters in high school.
There's a world beater in every league, every small league or every small team of each high school in every state. And Colorado is we're not a golf state, right? Like growing up here, you can just tell there's a lot of kids that just played high school golf because they wanted the days off fucking school. So, sure. I mean, this is not a hotbed, but yeah, it is kind of funny to look back and be like, well, he's good, but is he really this good? Like shoots 64 and wins the state championship by 11 shots. But does he flame out on the fucking mini tours? Does he, Mitchell Smith? Like, where does he go?
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't go to fucking Oklahoma State or Oregon, but his career arc has just been insane. Like, remember when we were talking 4 or 5 years ago if he was ever going to win a PGA Tour event or not? And now he's a multiple major winner. He's won some big events on the PGA Tour. Like, it's just insane that his arc and talk about arc outside of his career, his personal trajectory of being hated, then being liked, and then kind of being hated again. And now I feel like he's kind of liked again. And he's just got his PR team working overtime on that. His boy Josh Seipel, their agency, I'm sure, working overtime on the public image. But it's just crazy to me, dude. It is truly, and it's just horses for courses, dude. This course was tailor-made for a guy like him. Wide fairways, a lot of looks with wedge in your hand, wedging it close, make some putts. It's fucking. That was just the John Madden analysis of this golf tournament.
Get it in the fairway, wedge your close, make it. No problem.
Go to the next. Sounds like Dustin Johnson's thoughts 99% of the time. Just not a single thought in there, just birdies.
Oh, yeah. I was watching. I went to a restaurant yesterday. It was Live Golf was front and center of all the TVs because it was on Fox. Live Golf Indianapolis, the last live event of all time. Going out. Should we shout out the winner of that? Let's find out.
Was it Lasasso who ended up?
He was. Somebody tweeted yesterday, Richard Bland running down Michael Lasasso to finish the live. No, it's still going. John Rahm is in the lead.
It would be fitting if then they just owe John Rahm more money that they can't pay him.
Well, he's got, a supposedly $25 million fine paycheck to go back to the PGA Tour. Yeah, so right now we got John Rahm at 17 under, Michael Lasasso 16 under, Sergio Garcia and Bryson DeChambeau at 15 under. Well, that means the Fireball, or no, I forgot Rahm and Sergio Garcia aren't on the same team. Let's check out who's leading the team portion of this event that everybody gives a massive fuck about. Dude, what comes on your TV after golf? Do you have the same, like what pops up?
EBS?
Yeah, mine is Colorado Money Matters and this fucking asshole talking in a suit every single week. It's so annoying.
They're talking about all the wildfires out in Western America, out in your neck of the woods. Yeah, I mean, just the fact that Liv is going belly up. Like, let's just talk about this for a minute. If you were John Rahm and now, like present day, you made the jump, you pocketed who knows how much they actually ended up paying him, got to be well north of $100 million at least. And then you're going to pay the fine. You're going to be able to come back to the tour. What do you think it was worth it for him?
Well, I mean, he has made a lot of money, right? Like the money's insane. He's going to be fined, but theoretically, whatever money he made, and actually if he gets paid, there's some people out there still waiting to get paid by the Live Tour. If he makes all that money, actually goes into his bank account, and then he pays all the fines, he theoretically still would have made a lot more money than just playing in the PGA Tour. Where I think he could revive his career is if he comes back to the PGA Tour next year, excuse me. And if he ends up winning a major or two again, or playing decent on the PGA Tour and being in the points race every year and playing in the FedEx Cup playoffs, like Brooks Koepka is a lot more likable as a guy, and being on full swing, you kind of got a story into his life, and he's a little bit more self-deprecating. So I think a lot more people like Brooks Koepka as a person than they do John Rahm, which John Rahm is more of just a fan favorite, but not like a personal favorite, if that makes sense. Like people don't really relate to John Rahm, or he doesn't have anything special about him, right? But Brooks Koepka coming back this year and having full status or having to play his way back in, and then not even making he didn't even make the playoffs, right? He didn't even make the top 70.
Correct.
That part becomes a little underwhelming at that point. If John Rahm comes back and does the Koepka, I think it's a little bit more regrettable. If he comes back and is in the playoffs the first year and is playing good golf and winning, or finding himself at the top of PGA Tour leaderboards, I think it's kind of a nothing burger. It's just like, oh, he took a hiatus and now he's back.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. But it's just a very interesting scenario, in my opinion. Like, would he, like, if you're drinking with John Rahm one night and he was dead flat honest, do you think he'd say he would do it again or no?
Oh, no, I think he would say he regrets it. I'm just looking at it from the fan perspective, but I think he would. I think his legacy as a golfer is kind of like, he was still in his prime, like he wasn't the Sergio Garcia or the Ian Poulter or the, Laurie Cantor or whatever, like those guys where they had decent careers and then
wow, that was a big name drop, Laurie Cantor. I didn't know.
Yeah,
if you knew
you like that? The Dustin Johnson, maybe, like those guys, they made their PGA Tour bed already. He was in the midst of making it, and a really good one at that, and then left in his prime. So I think he's one of the few players that him and Bryson were kind of the two players that were either left the PGA Tour to go to live right in the middle of their prime when they were still very much winning golf tournaments. The rest of LIV is either younger guys that, Lasassos and the guys like that are like, oh, I can go get a massive paycheck to start my career off. I'll do it. And then the other guys were like, oh, I've done pretty much all I can do on the PGA Tour. Oh yeah, Cam Smith is another one. Shout out Greg in the chat. Cam Smith was another guy too. Won a Players, won a Open Championship, and then headed to LIV. But there's really not that many guys in that stratosphere that were elite or bordering on elite PGA Tour players that jumped over and now have to kind of find their way back and figure out if they're still elite or not, right? It's over for some of the guys that if they do end up coming back, they're just mediocre PGA Tour players anyways.
For sure. And Tyrrell Hatton, did you hear that story? He, on his first tee walk-up song, the song was I Want to Break Free.
Oh,
and
yes.
Apparently they said that he was telling guys in the locker room that it actually meant what he thought everyone would think it meant, if that made any sense. But it sounds like he is out as well. So Mito Pereira is working at a Chilean enterprise. He actually, I think I saw a video of him making his first golf swing in like over a year, a couple weeks ago. I'm sure that dude is like, what happened? What the fuck? How did I was one loose driver swing away from being a major champion, and now I'm working for a South American government entity. Like,
yeah,
that's fucking nuts. But yeah, the whole LIV thing, it's going to be the lore is going to be talked about for years. It's just going to be interesting. All the fallout, all the shit. We got plenty of off season to discuss that as well. You need to make me a graphic with all the bets that I cashed so we can post that shit and I can throw it in all my friends' faces.
Okay. Well, just put it on your Instagram story, the picture I sent you, and then put a fucking circle GIF around it. That's what I do every week anyways.
Okay.
You got anything else to get to, or should we wrap this bad boy up?
No, I think I'm sad. It's like feels like the last week of like the NFL regular season next week where you're excited, but you're also like bummed. But no, other than that, I'm just hoping that Scotty gets rid of this hand, foot, and mouth so I can make some money in the one and done.
There you go. Well, that wraps it up for us on this Sunday edition of Big Drive Energy. We appreciate you all tuning in as always. We'll be back this Wednesday. Time is to be determined live on YouTube. We'll have to figure out between our schedules when we get this off, but we will have a show Wednesday. It'll get the audio version will go out Wednesday night. Picks all of the 30 players for the Tour Championship. We'll talk about the golf course down in Atlanta, Georgia. Everything to do with the PGA Tour Championship coming up this Wednesday. Make sure you tune in, like, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to this podcast audio version, give us a thumbs up or a rating on whatever platform you do that on. We will talk to you Wednesday. Have a great Sunday. No Sunday scaries. Shout out Wyndham Clark, 30-1 winner. Shout out Barry the Banana. We'll talk to you Wednesday. Peace.